I'm Brenda.
And I'm Christy. We're two friends from high school who are connecting and reconnecting over music and memories.
Welcome to Normal Bias Podcast.
We're glad you're here.
The ray of sunshine. The ray of sunshine.
This meeting is.
Hey, y'all. Welcome back to Normal Bias Podcast. It's Brenda and Christy.
And our
Christy's in her
mysterious
bed.
ray of light.
Yes, you have a ray.
Her ray.
Yes, and I am in the closet again. If you're watching, I guess this is the third episode since we've been back, and the last two, I think I've been in the closet because I think the sound is better in here. So,
And I only have one place to record, so I'm still in my room.
yeah, the lighting's not the best in here, but it's okay. I think it's cozier. I think the sound it's a little echoey in my other two spots, but
cool.
So I love this ray of light because I've never seen it before. I don't know what it's about, but it's.
Oh, look, if I sit like this.
It is shining down on you, sister.
It has something to do with the overhead light tonight. And I've tried this. I've tried this.
I love it.
The light off, but then it was really super creepy because it was just like my lit face in a dark room. And I was like, you know what? I'm sorry, y'all. Like, I'm happy to edit these and post them all the things, but I just can't. I can't think about anything else today.
Meh.
The end of my day.
This little light of yours, you should just let it shine.
Gonna let it shine.
Let it shine. Hey, y'all. So I want to say really quickly, just for anyone that's new, that's listening, and you're just joining us right here where we've picked up where we left off. Christy and I are friends from high school, and during quarantine
30 years ago, high school.
Oh, yes. During quarantine, way back when in 2020 now. I guess April of 2020, she used to have a podcast and I said, you should do another one. She said, why don't we? So here we are. And we just reconnected and yay. And I'm glad you're here.
It sounds so romantic the way that you say it. We reconnected. We reconnected over a podcast.
Yeah.
So Brenda and I have a lot of overlap in our lives. It's really been fun. So we've never actually lost touch since high school because she married into my best friend's family, who we're still friends with. So we've known each other all along. We were pregnant together the first time. So we have a lot in common.
We do.
Yeah. Also, if you're just joining us, this is not my real hair. This is my twice a year hair. I am a curly girl, and twice a year, Miss Mary cuts it, and I get it cut 4 times a year, but about twice a year she straightens it. In December or January is one of the straighten times. So I have to warn people when I get it straightened. And I forgot, I went out with Lori today. We went to that Van Gogh thing.
Oh, fun.
And when Lori walked in our front door, she was like, I was like, and I forgot that I have to warn people that they're not expecting it. So you will not see this again, friends. I don't know that I've ever recorded with
I don't think you've recorded with straight hair, no.
So yes, I literally have it like 2 days a year. So, and then I had Wednesday workout tonight. It's Wednesday. So it will not make it to tomorrow because I had workout today. So
I love it when you straighten it. You really do look like a different person. So yes, so if you watch on YouTube, you can see the straight hair.
Where's Christy?
Who is that?
Girl in Christy's room. If you guys see a straight haired girl in my bedroom, I'm gonna need you to let somebody know. So this is the only 2 days a year that I can run my hands through my hair. I will say today when Mary was cutting it, when she was straightening it, so I am I'm not going gray, y'all. You can see it. You can see the white, but I'm not going gray. I have straight up white. So this whole section back here is just white. But, So maybe I'll end up with a cool white streak. That would make James so happy.
That would be really cool.
Like Cruella hair, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
It's happening after.
I have the white ones too, and they're right here on my sideburns only. Oh, it's so annoying.
You know what I would do with that? I would get that little the little roots thing and just like comb it in.
I do that. And sometimes they're so fine though. I get this like super tiny, like waterproof mascara wand and kind of get in there. Because
So,
I'm not ready to let that go.
well, just wait until they start popping up because they're
Oh,
not like my other hair. Like they stand whenever they come in. It's hard to see. Like this, I have I have a filter on my Zoom that makes me look a little bit better. So I'm smoothing, a little bit. And apparently my hair, because you can't see, but you can see, like you can see them, but see how you can kind of see how they're just sort of, they stick out crazy. So
that's
when
fine.
it first started happening, I was still commuting and consulting, and I would like in the car, I would like pull them out. And finally James was like, quit pulling
Stop.
them out.
So you believe in old wives' tales, like when people say, "Don't pull them because you'll get more." What?
I don't know what
Where did those things come from? Who believes that stuff?
the old wives.
Oh, that's true. I'm
I used
older.
to
I'm
be,
not a wife.
a lot more superstitious, but I'm not. I'm really not anymore.
Yeah, I'm not either.
So,
I'm not.
but
Although I do have this also, if you're not over 40 yet. Sorry about all this talk. I have
friends.
here's something so gross. Like right here on my chin, I have a white hair that grows. I have to pluck it.
Mine. It comes
When
every 3 months.
when I see it, I have to pluck it. When I feel it, it's like whiskers. Broomhilda. Ugh.
Okay, you know what? While we're on this subject, so this is also the first
Welcome.
time we talked about this on camera, because last time, 2 or 3 times ago, we were recording, we talked about it. Like we talked for like 45 minutes before we started recording. And we talked about these because like this one, like yesterday, I started feeling my little friend, and I have to be really careful. So I can't go at it with the tweezers until it comes out a little bit more, because otherwise, like I ended up with this like sore that looked like a pimple on my face from my niece's wedding a month ago. So anyway, so you have to wait for it to come out enough that the tweezers can get it. And someone somewhere is like, hey, ladies, you can wax. But I don't want to start waxing my face, because then I feel like maybe I do believe wives' tales, because I was like, whenever I would get my eyebrows done back in the day, I don't anymore. But the lady would always say, "Oh, I do your lip." No, what are you trying to say? But I think I believed my mom when she said, like, don't wax or do anything with your lip because it'll go over.
Oh wow, I think I just coughed in front of the whole everybody. Sorry about that. That's probably really loud.
It's okay. You Brenda has COVID. You guys tell your friends.
I don't.
Oh wait, no, it's just the flu. Never mind. You're fine.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I could get you sent to jail or like.
Seriously, I was just having this conversation with a friend, and that found out that someone like exposed that her and some others, and she's like, isn't that against the law now? I'm like, you would think. I don't know.
I don't really want to live in a place where that's against the law.
Right. It's not considerate, I guess, if you know it and you're around someone and you're not like saying, hey, by the way.
No, if you have something, even if you have a cold or herpes or whatever, like keep it to yourself. For sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, now that we've talked about chin hairs and gray hairs and herpes. Good times here at Normal Wise Podcast, you guys.
Like, welcome to middle age. Like that. Like, we won't do this as 40. We'll just do this as middle aged.
Yeah.
This is middle age. So we last week we kind of just talked about December as a whole, and we listed some things that we are interested in talking about. And one of the things that Brenda is most interested in talking about is our love languages. So, and you know what? Let me Google this real fast. Let me see if he's a doctor or a mister. So it's not Gary Chapman, the singer.
Yeah.
Must just be a mister.
So I had heard of love. So the love languages, and I think Chrissy can say what they are.
Yeah. So the first book was published in 92. Interesting. So love languages are the ways that you express and receive love. Um, there's 5 that he defines. There's words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. And we're going to post a link to Gary Chapman's website so you can take a quiz and see what your love language is. And so this is something that Brenda and her boys did as part of like their post-divorce, like recovery. I don't know if recovery is a good word, or like defining your new normal. And this is something that James and I did when we hit a rough spot in our marriage several years ago. And so, and like we know both of our kids' love languages. Actually, I did not know Noble's until a counselor recommended that we look into it. But so I wasn't surprised by his either. But so yeah, so it's interesting because like with most personality stuff, it doesn't define who you are. This can change. Your life can change. You can change. But it's good to know that the reason it's good to know, like for Brenda to know her boys and for me to know my family and for James to know mine, is it's so you can be intentional about being loving to a person and loving them in a way that they can receive it. Because if Brenda's love language is affirming words, but all I ever do is give her gifts, but I never say anything nice to her, then she's not going to feel loved, even if I've like spent all of my money on gifts. And I think we were talking about in our own marriages, how what happens when you don't speak the other person's love language. It like if it's a big deal if someone doesn't feel loved, or like for your kids if they don't feel loved and seen. So it's important to know like how to love people and what makes you feel loved, so you can be aware of it. Yes.
Right.
That's a big monologue. Sorry.
No, it's good. So yeah, it did come up in family counseling back when we were getting divorced, and like I said, it was something I'd heard of. I didn't really, it wasn't something that as a couple we really, I guess, talked about or identified as a couple.
Mm-hmm.
And then when when he was leaving or transitioning, it came up in a session, and it was really kind of eye-opening because telling you earlier, I am an acts of service. That's how I show love. Like that's what I do, things for people. I love doing things for people. And so, I was that wife. I, did things for him and, wanted to make things easy. And I thought that made him happy. And come to find out, that's, we did the quiz and that's not what he wanted or needed. And, not saying like that's why he went, but it could have been one of the things I wish I had, kind of known about. And so there's also one for kids, and I think even teens now, like the questions are for kids or teens. And so, yeah, the boys and I took it, and it was good because, when you have kids, if you have kids, your kids. And, I thought I could say, oh, Matt's this, Alex is this, but I was surprised a little bit so it kind of like rates each one when you take the quiz. And so Alex's first one was words of affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
And then talking about that with someone one time, because he hears words or wants words, but you have to be careful on what words you use, because if I use something negative or something, about his character or something, he'll take that and receive that. And, like just, it could be hard for him because that's how he, receives. But it's really interesting. And I guess I'd never really thought about how I give it. But at the same time, as I'm an acts of service, because that's one of the languages, I am quality time and physical touch. Like those are like really
That's
high for me.
Right, to receive love. Mm-hmm.
To receive, yes.
Also, she's single and looking, guys.
Yeah, just ignore. We're gonna edit all the chin hair talk out.
She doesn't have chin hairs or white hair.
No, I don't. So yeah, so that never really clicked with me that I was doing one thing and that's not what, he needed. And for me, I guess I don't know. So it's just interesting that the way we are or how we are, because I definitely think that words of affirmation is probably the third one for me, because I do, I know I can feel and recognize when I'm loved and appreciated, but sometimes it's just nice to be reminded.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, and I think too, like thinking about you, like you work, and I don't know why I keep saying like a 12-year-old girl, you work on an elementary school campus. And so to know your coworkers' love language would be so helpful because like if they need an attaboy or if they need a candy bar or, like a high five or a hug. And that one of the things that I've learned, learning, I've been researching elder care and end of life and things like that. Very, light breezy topics. And it talks about for like my mom as a widower, my dad's been gone for 13 years. So in our families, we're not huggers, but she's not getting any physical touch at all. And I can't even imagine that because I'm such a, like with our kids, like I'm such a hugger. I'm such a toucher. Guess what my love language is? I'm a physical touch is how I receive love. I show love through acts of service and gifts, but also words of affirmation. I'm very funny about that. I try, I think once, I put this as in our toolbox. I tried to be really careful about doing it in different ways. So yeah, I'm not always good at it, and I'm not good at my husband's is words of affirmation, which is great. I was telling a friend earlier today, I would never say I'm above cheating, I'm above any in temptation or anything like that. And I think about as a man, so if his love language, and we have not had this issue, but I don't think that any of us is above it, because think about if your love language is words of affirmation, and at home all you get is take your shoes off. Did you do this? Did you run the kids? Did you? And then you go to work and they're like, oh, you're so nice. You smell so good. Think about all the things that we've said to men over the years, right? You're so strong. All these things. I'm like, it's no wonder people get confused about their feelings, right? Because if you receive love one way and you don't ever get that at home from the person who's supposed to love you. And some of us, let's face it, some of us really do withhold love. We withhold affection, we withhold physical touch, we withhold nice words because we're hurt, because we're whatever, we're mad, whatever. And there's negative effects from that, whether they're short-term, long-term, whatever, but we have to, yeah. So I could talk all day about love because it's important.
it is. And definitely I feel what you said about your mom, because the physical touch, I hardly ever, I'm not going to cry. Why am I going to cry? But kids at school, this is what I love kids. And I really think, if I say this so many times a day at school, if we just let kids set the tone, because a kid will straight up come up to you and say, hey, Miss Parks, can I have a hug? When they need it, they ask for it. And I'm like, heck yeah, come here, let's hug. And I love, at work, I can give hugs, and I can get that love from the kids, and I get it immediately, and it's just so great. But I have to say, it's been a long time, and it's, I could get out there, I could go find it, but that's just really hard. That's a whole other topic, but it definitely is tough.
You don't
some
just want to
days.
swipe. You don't want to just swipe and
Right.
get physical touch.
Yes.
You
Yes.
want to have the feelings behind it too. And I think
I do.
very reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
I also realized when I thought you were going to start talking about your mom, that I think I called my mom a widower instead of a widow. So I'm going to have to go back and edit that out. I have a friend who recently became a widower, or two actually, in the last couple of weeks. So yeah. So sorry, Mom, you're not a widower. You're a widow.
But my mom definitely, she is physical touch, and I know she has really struggled. Her and my dad, held hands, they sat close to each other, yeah, if that's the way you receive love, and you don't, ugh.
Yeah. And you're exactly right with what you were saying. Like, you don't just want it from anybody, right? Like, you can't, I'm not even going to go there because like, we can't give, like, it wouldn't be the same if I hugged your mom as it would be if Victor hugged your mom, like, just because, obviously. But now, were y'all a touchy feely, like, hugs and kisses or anything family, or were y'all?
Yes and no. uh I know when we were younger, we really were with both of our parents. Of course, towards, I think I was more so with my dad than my mom.
Mhm.
Uh, but definitely, and we've always said, I love you. Like, if you see each other for 5 minutes, if you're on a phone call, like, we've always have been that family too that says that, we love each other. But yeah, I would say we're definitely huggers. I know some kids and parents I see even now as, teens or grown adults will, you know, sit on their mom's lap or really like get up in there and like just, feel all that. And we're definitely not like that.
Mhm.
I wish my boys were like that with me, but they're not. They don't need that, and they're okay.
Mhm. So I will
Um,
say that that's one thing, like physical touch. Noble, when he was smaller, he was always like in my hair and all the things, always like touching me. And both of our kids, like when they were asleep, they had to be, if they were sleeping with us or we were napping or whatever, like they had to have like a body part, like a toe or something touching me. But as Noble, as Casey's gotten older, she has become more cuddly. Noble has become the opposite. He's a boy and he needs his personal space, and I respect that. But I still, like, I have noticed he tolerates more physical touch from me because I do, like, and I'm not legalistic about how often I do it, but like, if he's standing still, I'll hug him, or if we're doing something, I'll hug him, or just put my arm around him, or like he'll, like in church, he'll bump up against me or something. And so I kind of treasure those moments because I don't know, I don't know when they're going to stop it.
yes.
But I think
I,
what's that?
I was just gonna say that I do appreciate my boys, especially in the last 6 years of us, being a, divorced family, that I finally had to say, look, you guys leave every other weekend, or, you're going to be gone for a week. Like, I need a hug. And they do. And sometimes without saying it, like they'll hug me longer before they go. Cause I think they know I need that. And I really appreciate that. And I don't feel like I'm making them do it. Like, they do it. But at first it was really something like, oh, and I don't cry like every time when they leave now, but I used to, and I know that used to make them sad. But I do, I'm glad that they know when I need it.
Mm-hmm.
So mhm.
I think that's
So Amy,
their wives too, right? That they know that we need to be loved in a certain way.
yeah. I think, I hope that whoever listens, that you will take the test and just see, because maybe you think, I was really surprised that the how high the touch and the quality time, I wasn't surprised, but the touch being ahead of that one.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can definitely be like hanging out with someone and just being with them, and I don't like need to have the other. But
Also, got to be single and looking.
definitely, there has to be a connection. I guess that goes along with the, you need that.
Well,
So
that's one of the things
I mean,
I'm curious about that because I've been married for a long time. And I wonder, like, people our age, like, when you date, like, is it important to have a connection, or is it just like, I mean, is it a totally different world? Maybe it was a different world when I was, younger and I haven't dated. I started dating James when I was 21. So
yeah.
um,
I,
21, yeah, I was 21.
I definitely think, I mean, for me, I think if there's a connection, like that's just, it's important. And I want that. But at the same time, as we're even talking about this, like companionship, like just having someone to talk to and someone to like go out to eat with, or, hey, let's go to a movie. That, the companionship definitely is important. And as I'm talking, even I'm like, okay, connection, yes. Companionship, yes. Physical touch, that could come later, like just having someone.
Also, pro tip, Netflix and chill does not mean what you think it means. Like, don't put that in your dating profile.
So right, so I've heard about that. Although when I Netflix, that's all I do is chill. Like, yep. Like I've been watching a lot of Hallmark movies. It's that time. But like I truly, like, all those movies are so cheesy, and I'm like, that's what I want. That's how it's gonna happen. It could.
But I'm gonna push back on that because I'm irritated. I have a daughter who is 18, and one of these years or decades, she's going to meet the man that she's gonna marry. And I feel like those movies are so, I mean, I'm gonna get shot for saying unrealistic. But and again, I don't know. I've been out of the game for a long time, but like, does all it take, like, to get married is to ride an elevator together one time, and then like suddenly, like, each other's deep secrets. And like I read like Kindle, like free Kindle romance books, and they talk about like these, like these feelings they have and these deep connections. But I'm like, I skipped the page apparently where you talked about what your dog was named when you were younger, and like what's your favorite color, and what's your favorite book, like how, like, I want to know people. And these movies and books make it sound like all you have to do is like be in proximity to someone, and then it's the great love story. Good night. Your closet is ginormous. Did your mic die?
Yeah, no, my computer's about to die. Here I go.
Also, did y'all catch the ugly Christmas sweater? I apologize if that's not ugly Christmas sweater. It's just a Christmas sweater.
No, it's a
Sorry.
it's a dress from Target that looks like an ugly, like the print is ugly sweater.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really cute. But
Also, it's your pink shirt.
Oh yeah, pink. Oh my gosh, great show. Those movies are 100% cheesy. I mean, and what do you expect? There's a logarithm. They're all like 100 an hour and like 40 minutes, right? I have to look for my charger. And so, yes, I know they're cheesy, and I know some of those scenarios would never happen. But for me, what I see when I watch those is that the girl finds some guy who she can totally be herself with, and they can talk, and they're like, they're like meant for each other, best friends. I'm like, that's what I want. That can happen, can it?
I can.
Find someone I have a whole lot in common with, and we just can't stop talking because we have so much to talk about.
It can happen. And if he looks like Ryan Reynolds, so bad. I mean, like, take that one for the team, right?
Right. God, Ryan Reynolds.
He's dreamy. I like a funny man. I'm married to a funny guy. And I love that we still, even like when I'm really mad at him, I can still laugh at him. So, oh my gosh. Speaking of, did you see my story last night?
Yes, I did, about the Walmart.
Yeah, so I am one of the nicer people that you'll meet. I'm a nice girl, and I don't generally say a lot of bad words. And I certainly don't cuss at my husband. Well, last night in Walmart, he was just difficult yesterday, and we're working on finding my voice and speaking up, and he was just difficult yesterday, and he kept pointing out problems instead of solutions, and he was driving me up a ding dang wall. I should also mention we work together. Um, so anyway, so we go to Walmart and to get coffee, and I get the coffee that he's been drinking happily. I pull it off the shelf, and he said, "Oh, you're not going to get the donut store kind?" I was like, "No, you don't drink the donut store kind. You like this kind." He was like, "Oh, well, never mind." I was like, "Fine, we'll get the donut store." He's like, "No, never mind. It's fine. We don't have to get the donut store." And I was like, "Oh my word, you are a giant pain in the ass." And I turned around, and one of our kids, we live in a small town, and you know everybody in a small town. And we turned around, and one of our kids' assistant principals was standing behind us, laughing. And I was like, I'm glad that she heard it. I'm glad that now she can see that I am a real person and I do make mistakes. But I was like, I'm not sorry that I said it, because he was being a pain in the ass, and he continued to be a pain in the ass. So anyway, and he was a little bit today too. If you're listening, James Brown, like you gotta cut that out. So I also accidentally quit drinking. Do you know this?
No, like what?
Yeah, like I'm
Accidentally.
starting to think, I'm like, maybe that's part of my irritability in the years. I shouldn't joke about that. So, but he was out of the country for 3 weeks. And so I had a drink with him the night before he left, and then I don't drink when he's gone because I'm the adult in charge. And so, I had 3 weeks without drinking, and in that time, I was able to see that after I spend time with this person, I think, oh, I'll have a drink. Or after like this happens in my day, like, oh, I'm looking forward to a drink. And it's, it wasn't like I don't drink to get drunk. I wouldn't tell you that I have a drinking problem, but drinking is one of those things that I can give up. Like when I'm trying to be healthier, I will give it up because of the sugar and the calories and all the things. So initially it was that. And but yeah, I just feel better. And I don't crave it. So anyway, so we'll see. We have a date. We have our James Brown Creative Christmas party Friday night. It's just the two of us.
What?
So, but he was like, "Hey, are you getting for our Christmas party?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know. It has to be really good to make it worth the calories and the, like breaking my fast." But so we'll see. But yeah, so it's yeah, that was very random. That's just what's on my brain tonight.
But it's just kind of that's one of those things. It's like when you're like, I'm just gonna run in the store real quick, and you have no makeup or whatever, stains on your shirt. I don't know, you're barefoot, whatever it is, right? But you'd run in real quick, and then you run into everyone, students, everything. So of course someone's gonna be in the aisle hearing you, right?
Well, it's like, so I taught in the area where I grew up, and we lived there for a few years. And I remember like we would go to the grocery store, and whenever I'd run into people I knew, whether it was from from the school district or students or families, the first thing they would do when they run into a teacher is they look in your cart. And so, if it's that time of the month, if you're having a party and you've got 4 cases of beer, like they're like, could you not judge me on the basis of my cart? Also totally random, during Tropical Storm Allison, we lived in the Heights, and we were like on a little island, like all around us it flooded and people lost their cars and homes and stuff. But we were on a little island, and we were able to get to the Kroger. And so during Tropical Storm Allison, we were probably 25. Yeah, we were young. Anyway, so we went to the Kroger to get the necessities. We got frozen pizza and beer, and they interviewed us for the news, or showed us on, I don't know if they interviewed us or just showed us on the news, but I remember like people were calling us like, "Hey, we just saw you at the Kroger buying beer and pizza." And like, so yeah, so that's how 25-year-olds get through a tropical storm.
Yeah, duh. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Well, one time it was no one I knew, but that just reminds me of a story. Alex, I mean, he's going to be 19 in February, but so he was, I can't remember, like 3 or 4. He was still sitting in the seat on the shopping cart. And it was in the frozen food. It was at Walmart, frozen food aisle, where I think I was looking for frozen waffle. I don't know what I was looking for, but I'm at the very end. I left him in the basket at the opposite end. And all I hear him say, there was this older lady, and I hear this from his little mouth. Hey, pull my finger. And I looked up and I was like, oh my gosh, Alex. Ah. And she is laughing. Of course, she didn't pull the finger, but she is laughing hysterically. And then I was just like, immediately wanted to get on the phone and was like, call Mr. P.
I was like, I know exactly who taught him that.
Yep. Mr. P taught him that. And I was like, really? No.
At least it was only that.
No, yeah, that's true. It was only that. So yeah, so take the quiz. I think I'm going to retake the quiz and just see if anything's changed for me on my love language. But I also, something you said about knowing your people at work, because it's one of those things too, is like, I can I want to guess what some of them are, but I don't know that that's what they are. I definitely know there's 2 of them that are definitely acts of service. Like they are like me, but I don't know that that's how they want to receive it. And gosh darn it, like I spend 40 hours a week with those people, more time with them sometimes, especially if Matt's leaving for a weekend. So I think I'm going to see if they'll do it, take it and talk about that. Cause I think, for as much time as I spend with them, I should kind of know that.
I think it would be good. And one of the things I would caution all of us against is when, especially when it comes to the Enneagram and things like that, like personality tests and quizzes and stuff that are very much like your heart and the place that you come from. I have to really, because I am so intuitive and I am a pretty good judge of character, I have to be really careful not to assume things about other people. And with personality stuff like this, it's very important not to assume like that we know what other people are, because it just can be dangerous.
I definitely think that.
So is that how you always fix your hair? Do you always twist it like that, or is that a special style?
Oh, this is, so my bangs are kind of funny. Like, well, they're growing out again. And sometimes they want to go this way and this way. So I just kind of twist them. That's sometimes. Cute. Thanks. That's what I do.
I don't play with my hair every podcast, but it's weird to have it like moving. Like my hair doesn't move, y'all, ever, unless we're in the wind. So, do you mute us?
I did, because Matt was opening the door and he was saying something. Yeah.
Hey, Matt.
He's like, oh, you're.
Hi.
Good.
How are you?
Good. Happy December.
Yes, it's my birthday month and Christmas month and the best month.
He turns.
You turn 16 next week?
On Saturday.
I'm not ready.
I know.
I'm not either.
I'm not either.
Definitely not.
What do you want for your birthday, man?
Money. That's what I tell everybody. I just want money.
I'm not going to mail you money. You're going to have to wait till I see you again.
Yeah, he's saving for a car.
Well, I'm saving for my car, and then I've wanted money for like the last 3 years because my mom has this problem too. Like, we'll ask for certain things, and people will get us something else. So if people just give me the money to buy what I actually want, then I won't have that problem.
You know what? That's very wise, and it keeps you from like accumulating a bunch of crap that you don't want.
Right.
It's wisdom right there. Wise man.
Yes.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Thanks. Good to see you.
Yeah.
And Matt's he's kind of a minimalist. He gosh, I think he was like 6th grade, 7th grade, pretty young. I mean, early. I think he said, hey, can we take everything off of my walls? Can we get rid of this? Can we get rid of that? I mean, it was nothing on the walls. We painted it a gray color, just plain bedding. And then we've added things back, but it's nothing where it was. It's just what he needs. And it was really, talk about love languages. I didn't realize how it was stressing him out. And he was like a completely different person after we got rid of the things.
It's for some people, like my first classroom, I had a consultant come in and she was like, wow, your classroom is like triggering because of all the colors and all the bright and all the stuff. And I was like, sorry, I'm just gonna be triggered. And I really I never quit using color and stuff like that, but it helped me become aware for some students, like that they needed to be like in a, to have like a smaller space within the like a smaller, quieter, visually quiet space. And so I think about that stuff as noise. Like for me, it's clutter, but for a lot of people, it's the stuff on the walls. It's the color. Like some people want no color. Like what?
I know.
Like your brain wants what your brain wants. We were talking tonight at workout. Like I spend the day in silence when I'm not talking to James or talking, like I'm not talking to someone. I don't listen to podcasts. I don't listen to music. I listen to stuff in the car. But when I'm working,
she has a podcast. She doesn't listen to podcasts. Anyone hear that?
Oh yeah, it's the truth. I won't listen to this either.
That's all I know. It always cracks me up that you do that.
Well, and then yeah, I'm the worst. But I like silence. And then there was a lady tonight, a good friend of mine, and she was like, "Oh, I can't have quiet." And I was like, "Oh, I get it," because some people are that way. Just like some people like candles. I don't do candles. I don't do anything scented or anything like that is, well, one, I can't be around a lot of candles, but anything, it's like noise. And I've tried to explain it to my family, it's noise and I can't hear my thoughts, and I'm a writer. And that's a bad thing when I can't hear my own thoughts. So.
Well, I'm at a better place now, but so when Kevin left and then the boys would go, I had to, adjust to them going every other weekend, yada, yada. Being a mom with kids, you would have I would have given anything for 30 minutes or an hour of quiet. Like, just give me. And then when it wasn't my choice, and then I was just surrounded by just the thoughts in my head and didn't talk to anyone for a whole weekend. Oh, I can't. So that's when I started listening to podcasts. I went the opposite. I started listening to podcasts. I started listening to audiobooks. I'd hanging out with the neighbor a lot more. Just had to have noise. I needed the noise because silence in that capacity is so deafening. It's so loud. It was so loud for me. And so I needed to add noise, actual noise to drown that out. Isn't that funny that we're like complete opposite that way? And then I got more candles, like everything to just not be so quiet.
I can see that. Like I need space, I need light, and you are more of like you like darker spaces, you like cozier spaces. I like open and light. But I love that. I love that we can be exactly opposite of each other. I like that we can be one way in one situation and one way a different day. Yeah. And that's another thing too. I would caution you. Like we haven't talked a lot about personality tests and stuff on here, but just keep in mind that for the most part, like know the personality test that you're taking, and do some research and find out if it's an attribute that can change over your lifetime, or if it's something that's like they're saying like, well, this is just how you were born, this is how you're wired. It's important to understand those things, like what's a static trait and what's a dynamic trait, like what will change as your situation changes, or like for some of them it'll tell you like you're wired this way, but under stress you'll react like this, and in a good situation, like on your best day you'll act like this, on your worst day you'll act like that, and which I think is helpful. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So just be careful, like when you're taking personality tests and stuff like that, to understand what you're looking at, to focus on you, and to know like if it's something that is ever growing and changing with you. You know what a friend and a counselor said to me this week was that, like, to think about us in terms of like with technology, every piece of technology needs updates, whether it's hardware or software. And we're the same way. We're constantly changing, and we have to, you know, like sometimes we have to expand to take on more or whatever. We need to take things in a different way. And I was like, you know, that is such a good word picture for people like us who are surrounded by boys, by men, like, you know, because I think like, yeah. Speaking of that, Matt looks like a man all of a sudden. Like he did not last year. Like he looked like a freshman last year. He looks like
he does.
That was fast. And he's like getting thinner, like he's getting taller and slimmer. He looks so handsome.
Oh, thank you. There was a picture he posted after the last football game he had. And Alex texted right away, like with a screenshot of that picture. And he was like, bro, like, what is going on? He's, you know, he's like, your face cleared and he's like, dude, you had a glow up. That's what he said. But, you know, it was just cute because he's been off at UT and he's like, what is happening to my little brother?
I love that. I love that he noticed and then he took.
I did. Me too. But yes, he's been getting that a lot in the last several weeks. I feel like it just happened like in the last month. So he's wearing he's wearing these contacts. It's called Ortho K or something. Some new technology, and his dad had heard about. So he wears these contacts at night. So Matt is like, has horrible eyes like me. He's very nearsighted, has astigmatism, but there's this new technology where he wears these like hard contacts at night, and it's supposed to like change the shape of your eye so that during the day it keeps that shape, so you don't need to have, he doesn't wear his glasses or contacts. It's very, very crazy, weird.
I'm gonna ask Dr. Brandon about that.
So yeah, look into that. So that's what he's doing. So he hasn't been wearing his glasses, and so that's another change. And it's just like, who is this?
This good looking man in my house.
Yes, my sweet Matt. But anywho, well, I always love talking because, like you said, even when we're different or same, or I just feel like I take away, I'm like, you know, because sometimes I can be like, you know, in my brain, like, you're just weird. Did you just say that out loud? What is that? What? But I feel like when I talk to you, you're so nice to me. But it just feels good to like say things like, because it's sometimes hard for me to articulate things, but just to say that I give love this way and I receive it this way. Like when I said it earlier, I was like, that sounds weird.
Not at all. But we all, like, just so you know, like I've only ever been me, but I was telling I don't know who I was telling today, like the thing, like the way that I can really get down is when I feel like other, like I've always, my whole life I felt other, like I don't fit. And that, like, I really can get in my head about that, but it doesn't, like, I've talked to people from all walks of life, all, you know, different finances, like gorgeous people that have things that they don't love about themselves. And everybody says the same thing. Like, I hate the way I sound on, in the mic. I hate the way I look on film. I'm so awkward. And I'm like, you know, like when you got like a supermodel looking person who's like the most brilliant person you've ever met saying that, it's like, oh, maybe that's just a universal thing. Maybe we just look for our own flaws. Like, I don't know about you, but I don't ever look at myself and I'm not like, high five, self, you did that great. But I barely mess up and I'm like, self, you're the worst. So we all feel that way.
We do. And I think doing this too, I've loved that we like, you and I are curious in that we like knowing what other people are like or what they do. What are your quirks? Which team are you on? You know, do you say pecan or pecan or pecan?
We didn't do that this year. That was funny. My friend Lori today, our friend Lori today, she said, you're an anthropologist, because I'm so curious about people. Like, I want to know, like, I don't really care like how much you make, but I want to know, where do you spend your money? I want to know, like, what do you buy when you go to the grocery store? What's always in your pantry? Those are the things that I want to know about people.
That's one of my new favorites. I remember you asked me that, like, what's your staples? What do y'all buy at the grocery store? And that's one thing that I love knowing now, because I never had thought of that. Like, how funny, like we all have different things. And it's funny because I've been in my neighbor's pantry so much, and I know some of the things they eat, and that we've kind of adopted a few of them, but it's just, they're different things. It's just funny. Like, we always have stuff for s'mores 365. And if it's, I always look before I go to the store. Do we need graham crackers? Do we need?
Now, do y'all have a fire pit, or how do you make your s'mores?
No, we put them in the oven or the microwave.
Oh,
Yep. Like, so I can make a whole sheet, a whole cookie sheet, put it on some foil and stick it in there for like a minute or two. I have a whole pan of s'mores.
now I want a s'more.
And then Matt, I think he puts it in the microwave for like 10 seconds whenever he wants a s'more.
Have you ever seen a marshmallow in the microwave, what it does?
Yes, I have, with a Peep.
Oh, did we do that at my house?
Was that your house? I was just going to say, I did it somewhere. I can't remember. Maybe it was.
Because we're always like, oh, we're such nerds. Have you seen a marshmallow in the microwave? Y'all, marshmallows in the microwave. They it starts out like a marshmallow, and then it gets wrinkly, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger as long as it's heating. And then it gets to a certain point, or when you turn the microwave off, and it goes, and it's all like stretched out. Like, it looks like my skin. It's all like stretched out, wrinkly and white, and then it gets tough. Also kind of like my skin. I'm a marshmallow. What? I knew
You're
it.
a marshmallow. Yeah.
You're a peep. I'm a marshmallow.
Yeah.
You're like a little sparkly and sweet.
On the
Odd
outside.
and wrinkly.
White in the inside.
I'm even thinking about that, you dork. Don't be white on the inside. Just be you on the inside.
Be me on the inside. Actually, one of my favorite, I guess, I don't know if it's called a meme or what's actually the definition of a meme, but
I don't know.
It's all different Peeps, the colors, and it says on the inside, we're all the same.
Oh,
That was one. I like that one. But
that's great. You're like,
I love Peeps. Oh, Easter Peeps. I've been putting that out there. I don't like all Peeps. All Peeps are not the same. And I always will taste and appreciate any Peeps for any of the holidays that people give me, because they know I love them. But the Easter Peeps are where it's at.
well, so you said that, and I was just thinking, we were at Walmart last night, obviously. And we ran into somebody else we knew. We were in the candy Christmas section. And I realized that I didn't see the Christmas Peeps, but I haven't been to Walgreens, and that's generally where you can, for here, I don't know about other normal places, but here, Walgreens on the candy aisle, the seasonal candy aisle, is where you can find the gingerbread ones at Christmas and the ghosts at Halloween. So I haven't seen any this year. Is there a Peep shortage? Inquiring minds needs to know.
There actually was. They actually closed the Peep factory for, I think, I want to say almost a year. There was a Peep shortage, but I'm glad to be able to report that this year. So the Peep factory is in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and every year they have a Peeps Fest, and of course, since COVID, they haven't had it. So they have it's usually December 30th and 31st, and they drop I can't remember how big the Peep is, but it's kind of like in New York for New Year's Eve, where they have the ball drop. They have a Peep drop. And they're having it this year. So I'm super excited they're doing that again. That's the goals. I know there's people out there who think Disney World is the happiest place on earth. That's great if that's who you are. I do believe that going to the Peep factory and seeing the Peep drop for Peep Fest. One day is going to be like the best place or the best time ever. So it's on my list.
I think that is a great bucket list thing.
It'll be fun. And there's a girl that because I collect friends everywhere I go, and she lives near there, so I could go see her too. She used to be the physician's assistant, or she worked at our HEB like little clinic. I met her and I think we connected over Dolly Parton or something. Anyway, lovely person, love her so much. And we've just kept in touch. And so she lives, I think, in Allentown, somewhere out there close by the Peeps. So she was just telling me the other day, she's like, if you ever come out here, you can go there too.
And you're like, I'll be there.
Yeah. Yeah. She's a really cool girl. But anywho, well, I'm going to go take the love languages quiz again. And then I'm going to see if my friends at work will take it. My team will take it and see what happens.
I am going to try to restrain this and take a shower, and because I'm yawning. I'm so tired. So I'm going to go to bed, take my straight hair and go to bed, and then wake up in the morning and be curly again.
I love it. Anyway, you look gorgeous anyway. So what is the song again for this? Love in any language.
And someone out there just went straight from the heart. Remember, we used to know, I need to ask Jennifer, I'm pretty sure that we knew this song in sign language.
Oh, I'm sure y'all did. The Happy Hands Club is what I like to call it, from Napoleon Dynamite.
No, this is the world. Oh, but that was a different one. The world is a rainbow. Yeah, we did that one too. But I feel like we did this one in sign language. Like her, I don't know why. But yeah.
Yeah, I bet y'all did.
Random crap. But
So
yeah.
I will leave y'all with this. If and when you do take the quiz, your love languages quiz, let people know what you scored and what it is. Don't be afraid to say, hey, you know what? I knew this about myself, or I found out this about myself, and just let them know. Kind of like Matt saying, hey, you know what? This room is not happening for me. So yeah, I think you should get to.
It's a great, sorry, I cut you off. It's a great year to know this, because like I was talking to a friend today, and I talk to a lot of people that I don't normally talk to this many different people in a day. But she was talking about how in her family they don't exchange gifts, because they all, like, if they want something, they buy it. They don't like tchotchke, like sit around stuff. And I was like, how awesome that as a family they were able to get to that point, because how many of us like agonize over what to give people, and then we also agonize over being given things because we don't want things, or we don't want that thing. So maybe it's a good year to find out how people feel about gifts.
That, yes, we were kind of talking about that. Just was that today? Just about, we have everything we need. There's nothing we want. And it was a coworker was trying to think of something for her kids, but she's like, oh, excuse me, what do they need? What do they don't really need anything or really want anything. I mean, Matt's like, just give me money.
Well, and I think that's awesome that he's saving for a car.
Yes, he is. So what his brother did. So that's what he's doing. So yep. All right. Well,
I will talk to you. I'm guessing I will talk to you again tomorrow. Same time, same bat time, same bat channel.
Sounds good. All right, y'all.
Well, good night. Well, just bye. Not good night to y'all.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're saying bye.
Yeah. And tomorrow James will be here so he can figure out like what this like
what the ray of light is.
I gotta get a picture of that before we sign off, because that's fascinating. It didn't really pick up on my phone.
Does it? I don't have my phone. I can try on my side.
Yeah. It just looks like I have like a white streak of hair. Oh wait, hold on. You're scowling in the picture. So smile, Brenda.
Thanks for that.
Much better.
I didn't mean to scowl at you.
I didn't want to put you like send it to somebody and have them be like, oh, Brenda, what'd you say? It's just her face, okay?
Right. It's just my face.
All right. Okay.
All right.
I am
I'll
off to bed. How much
All
longer? Okay, so it's 9:10. How much longer will you be awake right now?
at least until I'll be in bed. I don't know if I'll be asleep, but I'll be awake still at 11. I know.
Also, another way we're opposite. Brenda's a night owl. I'm a morning person.
Yes, not a morning person.
And that's totally cool. Like that, like I think that's part of the thing that comes with age. You see, I started it up again. But that's part of the thing that comes with age and maturity too, is that to know that like the way, like your way is not right or wrong. It's just a way. It's just different. It's not good. It's not bad. Because I think that we kind of like drank the Kool-Aid, right? That like you have to get up early. You have to do all the things before the world is awake. And that's not true. You have to do it when your energy is high and when you can do it.
I definitely appreciate you saying it's not a bad way, but I don't think, I wish I could save it for like just the weekends and like during the week when I need to get rest and go get up early. And I can't. I need to read Atomic Habits again. I probably can.
Well, John Tesh today said when you can't fall asleep, practice belly breathing. I'm leaning back and showing you my belly, but I don't know why.
So yes, it's definitely something I should try to work on, but yeah.
I don't like it when people say I should do this.
I would like to do this. I would like to do that. How's that?
That's fine.
Okay.
I guess. I mean, it depends on your reasoning behind it, but whatever.
Yeah.
Well, now we're going to hang up and you are definitely not going to sleep because you're going to be mulling that over. You're welcome.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Oh my gosh. All right, y'all. Well, let's talk to you soon. Bye.
Guys.
Hey, y'all. Are you still watching? Are you still listening?
We're so glad that you're still with us. If you want to connect online, we're at www.normalbiaspodcast.com, or you can find us on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. And our very favorite, if we made you a mixtape, we'd put all those songs on our Spotify playlist for you.
All the things.